everyone. This is Rashika and here we have Sulagna Kapoor, the co-founder of GoPursue.com. Hello Sulagna.
Hi Rashika.
Tell me something about yourself, Sulagna.
Well, I started my career with media companies. I worked at education. I also worked with a garment export company which was going for their IPO, and they were the official licensee of Mattel's Barbie and Hot Wheels. So I was heading their IPO process. So I've been in the corporate space for over 15 years now.
Okay. Sulagna, what inspired you to start GoPursue.com?
Few things, both professionally and personally, I would say. So when I got married and I moved to Delhi, I was in Bombay for 12 years and then I moved to Delhi. My thing was, my priorities were pretty sorted. I wanted to have a child. I wanted to become a mommy so bad. So what I did was I put a hold to my career, and I decided to go have my baby. When the baby happened, I took a sabbatical, and then I was trying to see if I can have the best of both worlds, like be a mommy as well and also go and pursue my real-time career. But that rarely happens. You see, because if you do this, the other person suffers. And here we're talking about a child. And I'm always of the opinion, take up a responsibility if you can do justice, otherwise don't do it. So when I wanted to become a mommy so bad, so it became imperative that I become a good mommy. Then what happened was, then this inner urge of, go back to my career was also something I just couldn't suppress. So I tried going back to a proper corporate one. It was fantastic. The only thing was the travel was a killer. The travel was becoming insane. And I was seeing my little girl suffer. That after a point, I did it for a year. And then I felt that I shouldn't be doing this. This is not right. It's not fair enough. Then what happened was, I was, when you've been in a job space for the longest, it's very, very difficult to get your head around and say that I want to start something of my own. For a person like me, it's a very well thought through decision. If I'm not convinced myself, I won't start just because somebody pushed me. So I kept thinking, what do I do? And then in the meanwhile, my sister also moved to Dubai. Her job took her there. And she was busy in her own world. She was globetrotting, and I was trying to understand, where do I fit in? How do I fit in? Then came a point where it started happening that obviously both our careers made us travel the world. So fortunately, we could see what's out there, what all is in there, not in the country. So a fair idea of what shopping experience feels like, looks like in different continents. Initially when you do your first trips, you're so excited about the shopping, but the novelty wears off. Because if you're going on a work trip, then your focus changes. Then you're either looking for something unique to bring back home, or you're looking to buy essentials. And actually the later takes the cake, because you want the essentials to be in place. So I kept looking at things, and it's became a very chronic behavior that I would plan that there is this 10 essentials I need to buy for my next trip. And then it became that, why am I struggling so bad? Why is it that I can't buy these 10 things from India? It's not that there's dearth of stuff in the market. Why is it that I'm continuously planning to see, or I'm waiting for my sister to come down and, I give her a list, bring all these 10 things with me. So that's where I think it triggered that why can't we have what we enjoy otherwise to bring into the country, which actually produces for the high street brands of the world. Have you realized that?
Yeah.
That India is one of the biggest exporter for high street brands across the globe. Be it any form of accessory, be it footwear, be it garments, be it handbags, anything. Yet the best quality is never available in the country. Why? Why is it such a rocket science? That's when it came to my mind that why not create a site which is dedicated for accessories and accessories only. Because there are players in this market, they are doing what works, but I'm yet to experience something which is niche, which is designed to that level, which is at par with the global standards, or of that quality that would, kind of satiate customers like me. So that was the idea.
So Lugna, what are your strategies to make sure that your design or brand cut through all the cutlers in today's age?
Okay, competition is a good and a bad word. I would say it's a double-edged sword. When I say good, I mean to say that it keeps you on your toes. That's the best part about competition. You can never become complacent in your space, because if you are, there's so many out there. Though we are new, very, very new, but as a consumer, we're not naive. So forget what I'm doing in my space. I'm still a consumer for a million things that's happening around me, which obviously is not something that I'm catering to. So what my experience should be, what kind of services I'm expecting, what kind of products I'm expecting from the existing setup is not something very different from what I should be catering or what I think is right. I am not trying to have a quick one here, like I know you don't make your millions day one. It doesn't work. Or maybe the idea is also not that you start making millions day one and that's the reason you're in the business. You're probably in the business, especially I'll talk about myself, I'm probably in this business because I want to create an experience. I want Go Pursue to be in that level where when you think about accessories, the only name that comes to your mind is Go Pursue. So that is where my strategy is. So I have to keep evolving. I have to be exposed and educated about the stuff that's happening inside this space, be it domestically, be it internationally, and create a balance and cater to my customers in a way that's best suited for their pockets, for the quality, and for the design.
So Sulagna, how challenging is to keep up with the trends in today's fashion industry?
Very difficult. Very, very difficult. Why I say so? Because my husband runs a garment buying house, which is catering to all kinds of export needs of all high street brands in US and Europe. So we're somebody who are manufacturing for stores like Neiman Marcus, Nordstrom, Macy's, Topshop, Anthropologie, so the best names in this space. What we've seen inevitably going wrong is they want the turnaround time from the ramp to the store in flat 30 to 45 days. Now think about it, Zara has cracked this model. Today, why I'm mentioning the garments part of it is because fashion has become so fast evolving that you really can't sit back and say, okay, one season's work is done so I can sit down in peace. You have to plan 3 seasons in advance. You have to. This is not a choice anymore. It's a requirement. So yes, this space, this very, very dynamic space needs a lot of careful planning, research and attention to be given to come up with a line from time to time.
What is the best part about yourself in being an accessories designer?
Best part? I don't know. I'm absolutely a very, very averagely abled person. I think I've been lucky being exposed to the fashion business early and having to be in places where designers sit down and discuss their seasons and how you pick up pointers and you incorporate them in every piece of your line. This gives you an insight about how design can be translated into products. So, for example, we are sitting in monsoon, so what are the colors of monsoon? What would entice? Now, obviously, Indian mindset and mental makeup works differently than that of the US or that of Europe. What you need to do is, the game needs a bit of tweaking around. I think the only thing that makes me, I think I should thank God for helping me with that, is having a keen eye for detail. I think I am somebody who's got an eye for detail and understanding about what can and what would work in this space.
So where do you hope to see your brand in future?
Like I told you, Go Pursue should be the name of the highest recall value when it comes to accessories as business, because that's where we want to be. Anybody or everybody who's looking to buy something, and listen, what we've done is we know all the high street brands are in this country right now. You drop a name and that person, because India is that market. You're talking about a 1.3 billion population to cater to, and the disposable income has been on the rise for the longest. It's rising 10% per annum, and you're looking at 42% urbanization by 2030. So look at the client base the world can have in this country. So everybody is going to be here. What would decide whether they are a success or not so successful? I wouldn't call it failure, because that's a wrong word and it has got a negative connotation to it. I think is understanding the mindset. We Indians operate very differently. We think differently, we feel differently. What I mean to say feel differently as in like how we correlate to a product is very different from what happens in the West. So that is a challenge. So if I say that I probably have a fair understanding of what works in US or Europe, will not probably work here. I have to work around it or work with the Indian sentiments here. Sometimes what I do is the best possible thing that I do is I keep making this questionnaires and shooting it out to the friends that I have. So maybe I get about 50 to 100 questionnaires filled per subject, and I get a fair understanding what they're thinking. And these people are all in high middle class to the richer class. But at least the population gives me a fair idea of what they're wanting. At least they're exposed. They know what are the things that are lacking and what they would want this market to cater.
Thank you, Sulagna. Thank you for being with us. It was nice talking to you.
Pleasure is all mine.
Thank you for
having
sharing
me
your
here.
ideas.
Thank you very, very much.